Mike Fisher reporting from the Star, where a little gallows humor is good and goes a long way, but a little truth would go a long way too. And we're not getting much truth on the Amari Cooper situation. As I've said in this space before, the 2019 Dallas Cowboys, barring a miracle fairy tale end of season run, are probably going to be remembered more for deceptive eloquence than they are for determined excellence. More work done, really, really well done in front of the microphones and the cameras and on the podium. Much better work, much more work done there than on the field. And now, in the latest example of this, we have the club's semantic dance as it regards the Philadelphia disappearing act of Amari Cooper, the Pro Bowl receiver who was, well, he was tired. No, he was rotated. No, wait a minute, he was benched. A quote from Coach Jason Garrett on 105.3 The Fan on the morning after that dubious effort in Philly, quote, "Sometimes in those 2-minute situations, they run a lot of plays in a row," talking about wide receivers. So the other guys were out there, the other guys. They run a lot of plays in a row, suggesting that Amari Cooper was gassed. That was the initial claim by the Cowboys staffers on Sunday night as well, that Cooper had run a deep route a little earlier and that he was tired. But Cooper insisted, and to me and others, he wasn't tired, he wasn't gassed, he was fine. So what about being rotated in and out? A rather absurd notion from a team that insists that Cooper is a foundational player. Now, is he as good as Julio Jones? You can't say that. He is as good as Michael Thomas? You can't say that. But is he this team's version of Julio Jones and Michael Thomas? Absolutely. And I don't believe they come out of the game on the plays during which they're needed most. He was not injured and is not injured. Again, this is relative. Amari Cooper is not hurt. Well, I take it back. He's hurt, but he's not injured. He's got to sore this, and he's got to sore that, and so does everybody else. And Jason Garrett says his health is fine, and so does Cooper. More from Jason. We were rotating Tavon in there. We had a couple good opportunities with Tavon, which is true. Unfortunately, we weren't able to cash in on him, except the Tavon's turn part doesn't make any sense. Tavon Austin has a role here. He's a credentialed player. He's got skins on the wall. But he is not a rotational receiver who should take snaps away from Amari Cooper. That's ridiculous. So first we've got gassed. Then we've got rotation. Oh, and by the way, Randall Cobb wasn't on the field either. This is the NFC East title game. And Tavon Austin is taking turns with Amari Cooper. And more absurd than that, Ventel Bryant, who is a practice squad special teamer, also took turns. He got 2 snaps late in the fourth quarter of that game for reasons that nobody can really truthfully explain. Cooper snaps in the game, 46. That's fewer than Michael Gallup, who had 56, and fewer than Randall Cobb, who had 48. So did Michael Gallup not get tired? How did he get 56 snaps? He was running deep downfield all game too. Cobb wasn't on the field on 4th and 8. And Jason Garrett firing yet another arrow just in whatever direction, trying to hit something, has brought up the subject of the Cowboys purposely creating a personnel group and a play call that would require Jason Witten and Blake Jarwin to be the downfield threats in place of Cobb and Cooper. No team's ever done that. In the modern history of the NFL, no team has ever said, fast Pro Bowl wide receivers come out on 4th and 8. Let's put a bunch of slow tight ends in there in your place. Preposterous. Quote from Garrett, in terms of the personnel group, to have that be a 12 personnel play, that would be Kellen's decision. That's a play we liked in that situation. For the variety of coverages that they were going to play, we felt like we had good answers with that. And again, the fact that Tavon Austin actually got open is not the point at all. The point is that Jason Witten, who I think got double teamed on the play, was not going to get open for a 10-yard route. And Blake Jarwin was unlikely to get open on a 10-yard route. Not as likely as Amari Cooper or Randall Cobb are to get open. So, 1, the Cowboys' offensive brain trust actually envisioned Jason Witten being more able to get open downfield than either Cobb or Cooper. And 2, it was actually the fault, or credit, or whatever, of rookie coordinator Kellen Moore. Jason Garrett said it was him. Garrett continued. In regard to the receiver rotation, Sanjay Lal and communication during those on-the-ball drives. Sometimes those guys work the rotation different ways based on the routes they run and plays they run and all of that. So, no, it wasn't even Kellen's decision. It was Sanjay Lal's decision. The receivers coach, it's Sanjay's fault. Sanjay Lal, who's a fine veteran NFL coach, been here a couple of years. I don't know that Jason Garrett's ever mentioned his name in a press conference before or on the radio before, but he did this week. The fact is, Cowboys staff was displeased with Amari Cooper's performance. That's a fact. And they collectively grasped for straws in a desperate search for answers, something that's happened a lot this year when it comes to play calling, decision making, and explanations of play calling and decision making. In no football world should Amari Cooper, even while appearing to pout on the losing sideline, which he did, mope, pout, whatever you want to call it, under no circumstance in no football world should he be watching while Witten and Jarwin run his routes. Rotating out a player of Amari Cooper's caliber is tantamount to benching him. It's the same thing. Everybody was a little tired and everybody was a little hurt, and maybe it should have been up to Cooper himself to go a little alpha here, which he doesn't really do much, to demand that Lal or Moore or Garrett or whoever who the hell is in charge of this offense allow his ass back into the game. Quote from Cooper, "I know I didn't play my best game at all. It was terrible. Caught 4 passes for 24 yards and had a lot of drops and a lot of balls that Dak made uncatchable. Obviously, you want to be out there trying to make a play for the team." Unfortunately, on Sunday, in a critical game that may cost a lot of people not only playoff berths but jobs, Cooper showed little ability to make plays. That caused the coaching staff to lose faith in the thought that he'd ever do so. So a, quote, rotation is a benching, and tired is no reason. And as we go forward, with the Cowboys still trying to win a game, still trying to go to the playoffs, and still making big decisions about Amari Cooper and his financial future, the only things that are hurt right now are Dallas's playoff chances, Jason Garrett's credibility, and Amari Cooper's feelings.